Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to tackle something super important for any Python programmer, the right way to copy dictionaries. If you get this wrong, it can lead to some really confusing bugs down the line. But don't worry, getting it right is actually super easy once you know the secret. So let's just dive right in.
So let's set the scene. You're coding away, you've got a dictionary, and you need to make a duplicate of it. Maybe you want to change the new one around without messing up the original. It's something you have to do all the time, right? So, how do you do it?
Well, your first instinct, and it's a totally logical one, is probably to just use an equal sign. Dict2 equals dict1. It looks clean, it seems like it should work, but this is one of the biggest traps for newcomers in Python. This doesn't actually make a copy, and what it does instead can cause some real headaches for you later.
To really get why that simple assignment just doesn't work, we have to talk about something called the reference problem. This is the absolute core idea that explains everything we're about to cover.
So what even is a reference? Well, when you type dict2 equals dict1, Python doesn't go and build a whole new dictionary in memory. Nope. Instead, it just slaps a new label, or a reference, onto the original dictionary. Think of it like this. You have one house, but you've given it two different addresses. Both addresses point to the exact same building. And here's the big consequence of that. Because dict2 is just another name for dict1, any change you make to one of them will instantly show up in the other. If you modify a value using dict1, you'll see that exact same change when you look at dict2, and the other way around too. They are completely linked, they're not separate, and that's almost never what you actually want to happen. So, how do we create a real independent copy? Thankfully, Python gives us a couple of fantastic built-in ways to do this. Let's kick things off with our first correct method, using the .copy method. This way is just beautifully simple. You start with your original dictionary, right? And instead of just an equal sign, you call the .copy method on it, just like this. MyDict equals thisdict.copy. And that's it. Just like that, MyDict is a totally separate, completely independent copy. You can change it all you want, and the original, thisdict, won't be affected at all. All right, so that's one great way to get it done. Now let's look at another method that works just as well, using the built-in dict function. The process here is really similar. You take your original dictionary, but this time you just pass it into the dict function, like this. MyDict equals dict thisdict. And the result? It's exactly the same. You get a brand new, totally independent copy of your original dictionary. So which one should you be using, the .copy method or the dict function? Well, the truth is they both work perfectly. The .copy way is a method that's specific to dictionaries, while dict is a more general function in Python. Honestly, the choice really just comes down to your personal coding style, or maybe what your team prefers. The most important thing is to just pick one and stick with it for consistency. Okay, so now that we know how to do it, let's just quickly lock it all in with some best practices that you can use in all of your projects going forward. Think of this as your simple little checklist for success. First, to avoid all those weird side effects, always create true copies. That means using either .copy or the dict function. Second, just pick one of those methods and be consistent. It makes your code so much easier to read. And finally, a really great habit to get into is to just test your copies. Make a small change to the new dictionary and just quickly double check that the original one is still the same. It's a super fast way to make sure everything's working the way you think it is. And all of that brings us to the main takeaway. If you only remember one thing from this explainer, let it be this. You cannot copy a dictionary simply by typing dict2 equals dict1. This creates only a reference. Really understanding this one simple idea is the key to mastering how Python handles these incredibly useful data structures. Happy coding!